What's the difference between a dishdasha and a kandora? Can't tell a shayla from a gishwa? Always wondered who makes those colorfully embroidered gowns Emirati women wear at home? Today, we're going to explore the world of Emirati fashion and style. You know, however much everything else changes in Dubai, the one thing I think will always stay the same is our preference for wearing traditional clothing. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my jeans and t-shirts, but even I have to admit that nothing is better suited to Dubai's climate than the kandora. I know what you're thinking. You see all these men and women dressed up in white and black robes, and you think they all look the same, don't you? Well, you're wrong. And today, I'm going to prove it. But first, I need to recruit some help.
So what's my mission today?
Today, it's all about traditional dress. Now, I'm going to handle the men's part, but...
You want me to do the women's?
Exactly. I knew that wasn't going to be hard. Just so you know, it isn't only Lubna who's looking forward to trying some new clothes. These guys make everything an Emirati man wants and more. Coming? Assalamu alaikum. Marhaba. Shil akhbar? Tamam? What types of kandoras do you have here?
We have what you'd call an Arabic kandora, which is the Emirati type. We also have a special kandora, which we call the Fazza'iyya, after Sheikh Muhammad's son, Sheikh Fazza' or Sheikh Hamdan. These two types are the most popular ones on offer.
Can I get my measurements taken now?
Of course, right this way.
Wow! 14 tones of white, 600 colors of kandora, and over 65 different designs for the gutra. That's a lot of choice right there. Effectively, every kandora has a gutra to match. So now, I've got an idea of my choices. All I have to do is make a decision. What are the features of an Emirati kandora?
What you're wearing now, that's the Emirati kandora. The Gulf-style kandora is the one right here. It has this collar here. So people from Bahrain, Kuwait, Muscat, Qatar...
Are they all the same?
Well, no, not exactly. But they all fall under the Gulf style. For Bahraini, Qatari, Saudi, Kuwaiti, each of these have their own unique designs. Look at the chest. There are no designs like you have on your kandora. And the tassel that you wear, we don't use on other Gulf kandoras.
Why do Emirati kandoras have the tarbush?
The tarbush was used in the old days to dip in perfume. Before, we used an oil-based oud perfume which would stain a kandora if applied directly. So the tarbush would be put on the side like this, and you could soak it in the oud perfume without dirtying your clothes.
I love the colors. How many colors do you have here?
We have a huge number of colors, up to 600 different shades. This is the Fazza'iyya kandora, with the snap and the zipper as you see here. This type of collar is on the Qatari kandora. You have the buttons hidden, and the pocket and the sleeves done in this style. This is the Kuwaiti style, with two buttons on the top and the zipper. The sleeves are kept simple like this.
I've got plenty of Emirati-style kandoras. Maybe it's time to try a different style. So right now they're actually measuring me up so that they can make me my very own Kuwaiti-style kandora. Different people like to tie their gutras in a different way. Me, this is how I like to do it.
In the last few years, the local design scene has really begun to change, especially for women's clothing. A new generation of Emirati clothes designers, many of them young women, have begun to create locally inspired fashion. This is the annual Shayla and Abaya show at the Bergman Center. It's one of Dubai's biggest fashion events. One of the designers participating today is waiting for me backstage.
Homa, you're getting closer to the moment.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Thank you.
A lot of decorations.
Yeah.
So the fact that the abaya is supposedly a conservative piece of clothing,
Okay.
but we see a lot of designs on them. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's a contradiction or?
No, I don't think so. See, there are different type of designs. For example, the daily wear abayas, you don't see too much embellishment. I don't really do a lot of decoration on the daily wear abayas. This is a party wear abaya. So as the parties in Arabs are separate, so women have like the freedom to have something more decorative.
Do you think the abaya is going to always be popular?
Oh yes, with the Arabs, yes, they're going to be always popular because I believe they cannot leave the tradition, so they respect their traditional values, so they're always going to be popular. This motif is very Islamic, and the colors are gold, dull gold, zari, and then there is a side cuts, the attachella, and the panels, and it's one of my evening wear pieces.
I can't wait to see this on stage. Huma, break a leg, good luck. Thank you very much. I'm gonna get my seat outside on the front piece, and I'll see you there. You ever wondered what is the traditional dress we wear under those abayas?
As Lubna mentioned earlier, Emirati women traditionally wore a long embroidered dress under their abayas. Our next stop is El Yashmik. They specialize in embroidery, and I'm going to find out more about their business. Fine, thank you. Nice to meet you.
You too.
So tell me about your company, El Yashmik. What do you do over here?
We are doing abaya and guftan, jalabiya really.
How long does it usually take to finish each jalabiya or abaya?
Some designs take 2, 3, 4 days. If you are using hand embroidery, it will take maybe 15 days.
And now to the factory floor.
We are working with machine embroidery. There are difference for machine embroidery. There are embroidery. There are hand embroidery they are using by hand. And we have the computerized machines which we have there behind.
And which is the most effective one today?
I think the computer thing.
The computer's taking over, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
And what is the reason? Is it more accurate? Is it faster? What's the main...
It's more accurate. It's also a very beautiful design. Now, most of these computers, they make the hand embroidery. They do everything. They put the thread, they put the crystals inside it.
So, Mohammed, tell us about the embroidery that you do on some of your clothes. Are they traditional or are they modern designs?
We are only manufacturing black abaya and jalabiya, which we call it kuftan. Okay. And all kuftans or jalabiya, this is for Gulf people or Arab people. Most of our design, I think, is traditional dress, really.
And what about the trend? How's the trend going in the Emirates and in the Gulf region? I mean, what are people liking mostly?
I think most of the people, as they come to UAE, they like our jalabiya or our traditional dress to take it back again with them for the countries. I remember that one time I am studying in England. I stay with the family. Then I sent for them some of the jalabiya, and they are too much happy about it. But they like our traditional dress, really.
I thought I'd leave a personal touch. You see, like a pro.
Yeah, this is the final design and final product. And this is Fadwa.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
This is our designer.
So, Fadwa, tell me about some of the jalabiyas that you have. What's the difference between the ones you wear at home and the ones that you wear when you go out?
It's the more simple, that's wearing at the home.
Okay.
And there is something more little different. That's for the visitor something. And for the party, there is many kind, like this one. That's more traditional.
And how has the jalabiyas changed from the old days till today?
Oh, many change. There are change in prices and they are change in design. Before only we are using jalabiya for home. The lady, she didn't wear it outside. Now we have jalabiya for party, for TV, for many things.
Thank you very much for your help.
Thank you, Marwan.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, bye.
I'm off to one of Dubai's biggest jewelry manufacturers. Damas was started in 1907 by the grandfather of one of the current owners, Mr. Tamjid Abdallah. Today, it has 520 branches around the world.
What is traditional Emirati jewelry, and do you still make it?
The old jewelry in the old days, in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, gold used to be very, very cheap, diamond used to be very cheap, so the size of the jewelry used to be substantial. I mean, a setami would weigh about half a kilo of gold.
Oh, wow.
The hijab, which is the belt, would weigh about good close to 1 kilo. I would say a very rich culture in terms of jewelry. We have a huge variety that basically, I would say the very few in the world that a jewelry or the jewelry collection dresses the woman from head literally to toe. See, here again we are extremely biased to our Emirati jewelry and Emirati origin. Most of our new collections that we've been relaunching, I would say, it's not launched the Al Manthura collection, the Faraja collection, the Budur collection, etc., and Hayati collection. These are all, I would say, inspired by the old jewelry. From the design on the paper comes down to the prototyping on the 3D here on the program, where you could visualize more or less how the piece is going to look like in real life.
Okay.
Then this machine or this computer here transmits information to a casting machine that produces the prototype, the wax mold, the wax sample. From here, our workers, they take this and they produce the piece. One of the advantages of UAE that today Dubai is named as the city of gold for the last 2 decades, 2.5 decades. So it has definitely established this, and it has been promoted internationally as the city of gold, the city of jewelry. You know and I know that jewelry is part of the culture of our Emirati Ummah. There will be no engagement without jewelry, no wedding without jewelry. I mean, this sort of jewelry is very much worn by the Indian community, or let's say, more particular, the South Indian community.
What about Emirati jewelry?
Okay.
How is it different?
The Emirati lady, she goes to a wedding, to a dinner or whatever, and she's interacting with the Indian, with the European, with the American, with the Australian, with the Chinese. So her eyes have seen only within UAE all the different cultures, different tastes. So her taste is very much influenced by all this surrounding cultures, I would say. The gentleman here is sitting on manufacturing this piece as per a certain order.
So the lady actually chose this design, and this is the real piece now.
That's right. That's her own stone, where she wants to create a design, a jewelry pendant, where her stone will be set on it. We have a Moroccan designer, we have Indian designers, we have Chinese designers, we have Filipino designers, and we have European designers. So today, to satisfy all this community that's in the UAE territory, we need to have a kind of a mix of culture, which really breeds new trends of jewelry.
Yes.
People all over the world like to smell good, but in the Middle East, and especially here in the Emirates, perfume has always been big business. There are scent shops all over the city, but this one over here must be one of Dubai's grandest. How are you?
How are you?
Good, thank you. So tell me a little bit about Ajman.
We are a fragrance house, and among other things, what we offer here are these, the oils that you see in the background, very traditional to the culture. But when we started this concept, Marwan, we thought, we should allow the consumer to create an individual fragrance for themselves and to allow people the experience that it's not rocket science. Normally the way it works is that we try and get the consumers started with no more than 3 to 4 ingredients. And as we go along, let me show you one of the things, key ingredients that we recommend, musk. Because what musk does is that it helps in elongating the fragrance on the skin. It's a bit like cooking if you think about it.
And then he added some oud for traditional touch and finished it off with rose.
Now, we have your basic essence ready. What most people don't realize that, once you've made an essence, either you can have it in the oil form, which is pure 100% oil, or we can dilute it. I took the liberty of even choosing a name for it. I'll call it eau de marron. Nice. There you go.
It also has
French touch to it.
It has my first initial on it as well.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So it's absolutely perfect, I think. We're going to shake it now, and I hope you like eau de marron.
I'm curious
Should we try it
to
on your
know
skin?
what this is going to smell like. All right, here we go. This really represents me.
Yeah?
It's fresh.
Well, I'm really glad that you like it.
It's very cool.
Okay, Marwan, oud in this region is used as an incense, and it comes from a tree, as you can see, the pieces of wood. What happens, you've got the tree called the agar tree.
The agar produces oud as a result of natural fungal infection. The agar tree grows in India, Burma, and most of Southeast Asia.
Now, oud can come in 2 forms. You've got the incense, the wood form, as you see over here, and you've got the oil form, as you see in the back over here.
Oud is so expensive because the tree is rare, and 1 kilo of wood chips produces a milliliter of oil.
Our research shows that oud originally used to be burned by Indian royalty, Hindus particularly. After their the queen or the princess or whoever gave birth, they would burn the oud, and the women would stand over it to purify themselves. I think nobody can really say how it happened to come in this part of the world. The only closest thing we can get is because the Arabs traveled to Asia for spices particularly, that trade actually spiraled into also fragrances. In Emirates, for example, they typically like the Indian quality a lot, whereas, for example, in Kuwait, they are more biased towards the Far Eastern qualities. So it all depends, even within the Arabic culture, there's a difference between that. There are people who actually have oils that have been extracted and maybe their grandfather or grandmother gifted it to them. It does age very well. This is the most expensive one. We typically sell this for about $4,500 for 12 ml. As you can see, it's very, very potent.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It's great. Well, listen, thank you very much. I mean, the experience was great. I've learned so much more.
Fantastic, Marwan.
All right,
thank you so much.
All right,
Appreciate
bye-bye.
it. You think you want to give that back to me?
Oh.
All right. Cheers. Thank you very much.
In recent years, several stylish boutiques selling locally designed fashions have been started in Dubai.
They have everything here from t-shirts to handbags. One of the best places to find out what's going on is here at Sauce.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Tell me more about your designers.
Well, we have a lot of contemporary brands, so the usual London-based, Paris-based, New York-based. We also have diffusion lines from the big name brands. But in addition to that, we have a lot of local and regional designers.
Oh, you do?
Sauce really prides itself as being a birthplace for local designers. So a lot of people launch their designs from the store. There's just so much talent. A lot of people, some people are from Dubai, like Sugar Vintage, who you'll be speaking to later. Okay. And some people are from around the world, but they're based in Dubai. And because Dubai is so central, you have the Indian influences and then you have the European influences and you have influences from all over the world. And then they combine into this wonderful creative hub.
How does it compare to the regional design scene?
It's very good. The beauty of this region really is in the interaction. And so you'll find some brands or some people who are based here and they're very connected to their local heritage. But then they travel, so they get inspired by London and Paris and Tokyo. And so they come back and then they incorporate their own cultural traditions or materials or fabrics or cuts with the influences that they get from traveling abroad. So this is one of my favorite parts of the store, which is the bathroom, also known as the denim deck, actually, because we have all the denim brands here. And as you can see, we have the shower lights.
What is that? That's not going to start working in water on us.
No, only with light, actually.
Cute. Okay, so how do you promote local designers?
Oh, we do a lot to promote local designers, actually, because they are the backbone of sauce. And every year, for instance, we have a shopathon, which is essentially an event that we have for a couple of days and nights during Ramadan, where we have this set up, and we invite all our local designers to participate. So they have their new collections on display. People come and they hang out, and it's Ramadan, so it stays late, and they browse the different designers and the new stuff, and it's always a lot of fun. And actually next year we're doing something really special, which we didn't do last year. We're launching a dress competition. So it's an invite to any local designer or any designer based in the UAE to design a dress. And then we will judge it, and then the winning designer gets help from us in terms of sponsorship to create a 6-piece collection, which we will sell at Sauce.
So I really like this. This is really great. Tell me about this.
Yeah, well, this is a Lebanese-based designer. It's a really good example of incorporating traditional elements. Like here we have the ghitra or kafiyeh with a modern design. So you have like the bright yellow animal skin, or here we have the lace that was really in last season. And here we have another really good example as well. This is Sarah's bag. She's also based in Lebanon. This is a sauce-made design that we did especially in center, and then she added it to her clutch. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we can do with that. Oh, and there's the Sugar Vintage girls.
Layla al-Marashi and Hidayah al-Rahma met so long ago that neither of them remembers when. Their shared passion for clothing, fashion, and apparently the 1940s has led to some interesting takes on traditional Emirati clothing. It's like the kandora, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's like what you're wearing.
Exactly. Yes. But that's like a baby doll style, and this is just tunic.
This is
there's 2 types, the baby doll and the tunic.
Did you guys get a lot of support from the people when you ventured into fashion design?
People were very responsive and very enthusiastic about the ideas, so there was a lot of excitement.
I think people appreciated our design.
They do,
yeah,
they? Because they're very beautiful. I mean, look at this. I love this. Can I try this on?
So this is one of my favorites. It's a Sugar Vintage bestseller.
It's like a men's bisht, right, Hidayah?
Yeah, it's actually a men's bisht with a feminine twist, a modern twist. If you notice, our signature would be the gold border with the crystals and the flowers, and we use pink a lot.
Exactly. And if you see, our brand name is called Sugar Vintage, which is sweet, and vintage, which comes from traditional. Our designs are a bit of everything. Like we mix the East meets West, old meets new.
Who do your designs appeal to?
Well, when we first started, we identified a big gap of Arab women like ourselves that are looking for something new and fresh. And we thought, why not take our culture, which is very beautiful, and mix that with something modern, easy to wear, comfortable, girly. And that's how the brand was born. And then we just mixed our ideas together, created these one-off limited edition pieces. And we definitely feel that a lot of fashionistas out there are looking for a brand that identifies their personality. So when you're wearing this, you're saying, I'm proud to be an Arab and I can still look cool and fashionable and funky.
Your collection, it's called My Heritage?
It's actually got elements from our heritage. We've used that on different designs, different fabric, and we've implemented the modern look with it.
For instance, if you see my abaya, it's very different from the typical one you can find out in the market. I've put our signature on it. I like that it's different. So you can have your personal style as well. It doesn't just have to be black and plain.
This is like the tarbouch, which is for men, and it's a traditional element, and it's in pink. So this is also a kandora. This is what men wear, but the colors are more feminine, and we've added appliques of flowers.
So this is the abaya-inspired dress. How do people usually react to this?
They get amused and pleasantly surprised. There's actually a shorter version of this. We have different colors. It comes in different colors, hot pink.
I am definitely trying this on.
And this is all, of course, Swarovski crystals. So to give it more of a...
I don't think I'm getting out of here anytime soon.
See, told you there was more to Emirati fashion that first meets the eye. Since the 1960s, the world has grown used to thinking that the way we dress is a reflection of our individuality. But if we Emiratis choose to wear the national dress, it's not only because it's perfectly adapted to our climate and society, nor is it only because it's a link with our past and who we are. We wear it at the end of the day for the same reason everyone wears what they wear. Because it's comfortable and because it looks good. So if you ever find yourself thinking that everyone looks alike, look closer. Notice the details. For just like everywhere in the world, Emiratis are busy expressing themselves through the clothes that they wear.
You can now watch Emirati online. Just log on to DubaiOne.ae.